Shiloh Jolie, the first biological daughter of the once powerful couple Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, has never been merely a princess of Hollywood. From the moment she was a newborn, she became the focus of international media, not because of her own choices, but because her lineage was inevitably bound to flashing lights and constant speculation. Yet throughout her journey of growing up, Shiloh has refused to let herself be confined to the label of simply being someone's child. Instead, she has steadily affirmed herself as an independent individual, a symbol reflecting cultural shifts, fashion trends, and the inner struggles that any young person might relate to. It is precisely the tension between the enormous shadow of her family and her own personal aspirations that has turned Shiloh's story into a vivid essay in itself, where every detail, from her height, her style, and her looks to her relationships, carries a significance far beyond the surface. At 19 today, Shiloh stands nearly 1.70 meters tall, with a balanced and athletic figure. This is an ideal height that allows her to blend effortlessly into any stage, be it the red carpet, the dance floor, a casual street scene, or an artistic performance. But what intrigues observers is not just that specific number, but how Shiloh uses her physique as a means of expression. When she wears a form-fitting haute couture gown, her height transforms into an elegance of grace. When she opts for an oversized hoodie, baggy jeans, chunky sneakers, and a somewhat slouched stance, that same height morphs into a counterweight, a quiet rebellion, a subtle message that beauty does not need to conform to rigid standards. Shiloh once went through a phase the media dubbed the tomboy icon, when, between the ages of 5 and 10, she was often seen with short hair, button-up shirts, khaki pants, and small ties. At the time, many newspapers and audiences debated, was Shiloh revealing an unconventional gender identity? Some praised her as a symbol of liberation, while others criticized Jolie and Pitt for encouraging their child to defy norms. Yet, in a broader view, those outfits were simply the choices of a child given the freedom to experiment, to wear whatever made her feel comfortable. And it was precisely that freedom, staunchly protected by Angelina Jolie, that laid the foundation for today's Shiloh. A young woman unafraid of society's gaze, ready to explore everything from tomboy extremes to soft femininity, from street simplicity to the rebellious flair of Y2K fashion. Shiloh's beauty, according to many, is a peculiar yet harmonious fusion of two of the world's biggest stars. Her bright blue eyes, carrying a hint of melancholy, are reminiscent of Brad Pitt, while her full lips and delicate features call back to Angelina Jolie at her peak. Some cultural commentators even argue that Shiloh is essentially the female version of Brad Pitt, to the point that a mere glance is enough to recognize the Pitt bloodline flowing through her. Yet the paradox lies in this. While the media is preoccupied with finding Brad and Shiloh, she herself is quietly sending the message that she wants to escape those comparisons. Every time she chooses a lip piercing, a platinum blonde hairstyle, or bold smoky eye makeup, Shiloh is not simply experimenting with trends. She is rejecting the notion of being a replica. She wants the public to see her as Shiloh, an independent being, not merely the reflected shadow of anyone else. If there is one bond that ties Shiloh Jolie most deeply, it is undoubtedly the one with her mother, Angelina Jolie. From the very beginning, images of Jolie cradling Shiloh appeared across magazine covers worldwide, not only as the emblem of a Hollywood golden family, but also as living proof of a maternal love both passionate and enduring in the glare of public light. Through countless upheavals, from personal scandals to a globally sensational divorce, the relationship between Shiloh and her mother has remained a steady, unwavering axis. People may question many things about Angelina, her romantic choices, her media strategies, her prolonged legal battles, but few can deny the love she pours into her children, especially into Shiloh, the first biological child of the Jolie Pitt union. Shiloh is not only the daughter who looks like Brad, but also the first child Jolie gave birth to after years of adoption. The arrival of Shiloh in 2006 was described by the media as a cultural earthquake. Magazines paid millions of dollars for exclusive rights to her newborn photos, and Jolie and Pitt donated the entire sum to charity. From that very moment, Shiloh became a, quote, global citizen, not by her own choice but through her parents' ability to transform a personal event into a humanitarian statement. Yet beneath the glitter, there remains a simple truth. For Jolie, Shiloh holds a singular meaning, not just as a daughter, but as the living embodiment of a love that, though it later collapsed, was once real. And for that reason, Jolie's love for Shiloh carries both instinctive devotion and a sacred protectiveness. fiercer perhaps than toward her other children. This bond has been most visible to the public on red carpets. As Shiloh grew older, Jolie frequently brought her along to film premieres, walking side by side in carefully chosen outfits. Sometimes Shiloh even wore the very dresses Angelina had once worn, as though to signal continuity between two generations. These moments not only created a media spectacle but also revealed something deeper, a relationship that transcended mere motherhood, becoming almost a partnership between two artists supporting one another in the pursuit and expression of identity. In such moments, Angelina appeared not only as a powerful star, but as a mother willing to step aside from the spotlight so her daughter could experiment, be seen, be heard, and be accepted. By contrast, Shiloh's relationship with Brad Pitt has followed a different trajectory, from early warmth to an increasingly evident distance after the 2016 divorce. The infamous private jet incident, in which Brad was accused of verbal and even physical aggression toward one of the children, became the turning point that shattered the Jolie Pitt family. Although Brad was never charged, and he has consistently denied the allegations, the event was enough to demolish the image of the quote, perfect father the public once admired. For the children, especially Shiloh, who was only 10 at the time, the shock was not merely a legal dispute but a rupture of trust at its core. Children are acutely sensitive to the atmosphere at home, and witnessing even a single outburst can leave a scar that lasts. Afterward, Angelina became the primary custodian, while Brad had to fight for years to secure visitation rights. During these battles, Shiloh, like her siblings, rarely appeared in public with her father. This absence cannot be explained simply by busy schedules. It became a telling sign that the father-child bond was no longer whole. For Shiloh in particular, so often said to resemble Brad the most, this silence suggested inner conflict. Many once hoped she would serve as the bridge between two worlds, but in reality, the distance only seemed to grow. The reasons for this fracture cannot be reduced to a single factor, but can be understood in 3 layers. First, the direct trauma of the family crisis. Even brief exposure to conflict can make a child feel unsafe, leading to avoidance. Second, the burden of legal and media scrutiny. When the divorce turned into a very public war, every image of Shiloh with her father risked being read as an implicit statement, stripping away her ability to act naturally. Third, Angelina's fierce protectiveness. As a mother, she sought to shield her children from what she considered toxic, intentionally or unintentionally deepening the gulf between them and Brad. The paradox, however, lies in the fact that Shiloh's strong resemblance to Brad makes her the focal point of the father-child relationship. People never cease to say she is Brad Pitt's mirror image, yet the truth may be more complex. The stronger the resemblance, the sharper the reminder, and the harder it may be to accept. For a child, seeing oneself reflect the image of a father who caused emotional wounds can be a heavy burden. Perhaps this is why Shiloh asserts herself through contrasting expressions: platinum blonde hair, lip piercings, streetwear style, all signaling that she is not Brad Pitt's female replica, but an independent individual, carrying her own pain and her own aspirations. That said, it would be wrong to claim that Shiloh has completely severed ties with her father. Sparse reports suggest she remains in contact and has had discreet meetings with him. Yet what matters is that these moments are unseen by the public, unacknowledged on a wider stage. In a world where every move is scrutinized through the lens of the media, absence from public view is almost equivalent to real distance. And it is in this contrast that we see the difference between her relationship with her mother and relationship with her father. One vivid, radiant, full of shared images and memories. The other faint, fragile, surviving only in the shadows.